Make donations of clothes or whatever, and it's not really what people need. So I actually went to Walmart and Costco and
Got pillows.
shampoo,
Oh, wow.
diapers.
Any greedy and ruthless person who preys on others, that's a vulture. Akin to velare, to tear, see vulnerable. Vulture, a large bird of prey with the head and neck more or less bare of feathers, feeding chiefly on carrion and reputed to gather with others in anticipation of the death of a sick or injured animal or person. 2. A contemptible person who preys on or exploits others. The press are vultures. Yes, ready, set, action. Meghan Markle setting up her shot with a bunch of photographers that she took. These are not these people are not, part of the press or anything like that. Look how many photographers she has. One guy setting the other side, two, three, four, five, six. A man standing behind her, 7 people to make sure that they capture the crosses of the murdered children of Uvalde. Matthew McConaughey is from Uvalde. And not, I mean, think about it. Meghan Markle was the only one who hopped on a plane, private plane, of course, this eco warrior, to go and make sure that she got pictures and film and footage of these children. I am surprised it wasn't featured on the Netflix because even people at Netflix said, that was actually pretty terrible what you did. But there she is coordinating that they got the best shots and what is the best lighting, as though the murder of these children is a photo op for her. Once the lighting was sorted out and they can capture the best angles among those 8 or 9 photographers she took with her, then she went into a shelter. She wasn't allowed to bring the cameras like Oprah, but she did manage to get somebody to take a photo of her right next to empty cup or these little cups or things. It's, yeah, I don't even know where to start with that. It is one of the most repulsive things I've seen. Because had I been a parent, knock on wood, of one of those murdered children, that woman would have left without her weave, her hair extensions, her horse hair extensions. Birds of a feather. Oh, is it flock together? Birds of the same feather flock together. I don't know what the saying is. Oprah says she will make a major donation to help with rebuilding in Maui hours after CBS News crew she arrived with to shelter was refused entry. So she's going to donate a hefty amount of money, right? Once the dust has settled. Once the dust has settled, right? The people need to know now. Those people, they need coffins because I think the death toll right now is about 106 and there are over 1,300 people missing. I can tell you from experience that what people need to know, the ones that survived, that they have means to bury their loved ones. Second, that they will have a home to go back to, that there will be somebody helping them build back their homes because they're pretty much homeless. Oprah just bought about 870 acres and there's huge controversy because she's pretty much buying the entire island. And what is very suspect is that it's just one particular area that got burnt, the one right next to Oprah's and all those elites. Despite the county's policy of granting no media access to the War Memorial Shelter, Winfrey was interviewed by the BBC inside the shelter when she was there on Thursday to hand out supplies to survivors. Yes. What did she do? She tried to go in with the crew. She was told, no effing way you're coming in here to exploit this human tragedy. And then she went into town, bought shampoo, diapers, and pillows. and I'm going to make a hefty donation. We have, remember those pledges, haven't we, with Amber Heard? I pledged that. Once the dust settles, no, the dust doesn't need to settle for you to make the pledge, to make the donation. Actually, you can say, I will donate $4 million to rebuilding 8 or 9 homes, and I'm going to get all my billionaire friends or multimillionaire friends to donate even 200,000 to build homes for these people who have lost everything. No, she doesn't do that. She told the BBC she'd visited the evacuation point earlier to ask what people needed. That's absolute bullshit. She showed up with her crew and she was rejected. She was refused entry. She then went to a big box store to pick up pillows, diapers, shampoo, and more before returning to the shelter. It is not clear why the BBC was allowed to record Winfrey at the shelter on Thursday, but the CBS News crew with whom she arrived Sunday morning were denied access because the BBC was there to report, not to exploit. But of course, the county, because Oprah is so wealthy and is she's one of the wealthiest ones. She's bought pretty much the entire freaking island. They updated on their site. Oprah was able to visit our shelter, and we thank her for instructing media journalists and camera crews to remain outside. She didn't have to instruct them because they had already been instructed, just like she was, that she couldn't film inside. So they're trying to help her save face. The county wrote in an update about Oprah trying to enter the shelter. Yeah. I mean, Oprah entered the shelter inside by herself, not with camera crews, because that's what she wanted to do. We welcome Oprah to continue to uplift our community's spirit and give her aloha to victims of the tragic disaster. Her visit inside of the shelter today was truly heartwarming, and we appreciate her understanding of our policy of having no camera crew or reporters accompanying dignitaries and celebrities in our emergency shelters. It's kind of not true, is it? Because the BBC was there. The BBC was there because the BBC interviewed this skanky woman. When I tell you that I have experience, it's because I have experience. I had just arrived to Nicaragua when this happened. I was in Canada and I arrived to Nicaragua. And this is what happened. It was a tidal wave that killed 86 in Nicaragua. It was horrible. Earthquake-driven tidal waves, some more than 30 feet high, hit the Pacific coast of Nicaragua's Tuesday evening, smashing dozens of villages. The Nicaraguan Red Cross said late today that 86 people were killed, 101 missing, and 3,700 homeless. About 2/3 of the 86 bodies found were children swept from their beds in the night. Red Cross spokesman Rodolfo Martinez said he put the total population of the affected area at 25,600. The reason why I'm talking about this, guys, is because nobody, not even the press, there was a church setup where the bodies, people were bringing the bodies, that they could recover. And you could see the bodies lined up, most of them were children. It was a horrific scene. And, all the press, they knew not to film that because it was just a horrific thing. For example, this gentleman, who was Rene Mendoza, also a resident of the town, told a radio interviewer that he was at the store when the wave struck and that they took away his 3 daughters, aged 3, 4, and 7. I ran back, but the water had taken everything, he sobbed. I spent all night looking for them, but they're not to be found. It was a horrific sight. And the fact that Oprah and Meghan can't get their fucking heads around that you don't exploit this. You don't bring your camera crews for photo ops for that while people are suffering. Try to exploit that while they're at their most vulnerable, at their worst, because this is a nightmare for a parent or people who have lost their homes. And I can tell you that most of the things that we were worried about, because I was working with them, was getting coffins ready for the children or people. They're so poor they didn't know how to bury them, and their homes, everything was swept away. So just to be able to put them at ease and say, We're going to, build you back your homes. Don't you worry. You're going to have a home to go back to. The whole community, got together, and all these people were helped to get the little homes back up. So at least when they were at their worst, they knew they had that peace of mind that in spite of that horrific thing, they would have a home to. They knew that the community was going to help them. The Red Cross, the United States of America, donated about $108 million to rebuild the towns and the homes that were lost. There's nothing more that you can do. A shampoo, a diaper, or a pillow is not going to make it. People need peace of mind to know, what, I've lost my loved ones. My home is gone. But you know what? The community is getting back together. And at least I know I will have a home when I go back outside into this world. And just like Meghan, Oprah had to make sure that she got a camera shot inside, all smiley faces. I can tell you that nobody was smiling inside that church when everybody, with all the bodies present, people with, horrific loss. Nobody was smiling. Here is Oprah smiling like she's out, in a tour. This was not a tour or a photo op. These are not your bunch of friends you're hanging out at a party. I don't understand why these women are smiling, laughing, while they're inside of a shelter where people are severely wounded, homeless, and have lost their loved ones most likely. This is how repulsive Meghan and Oprah are. It's really disgusting. And I don't understand why Meghan and Meghan was not called out for that Uvalde disgusting scheme she pulled. And now I don't understand why Oprah is being praised instead of being called out. To close on a lighter note, literally a lighter note, because we can see here very white Meghan. That's not a recent picture. Those are not her latest teeth. You see the gap at the end of her teeth of her smile? She fixed that because before she had only put the front teeth. She had only arranged her teeth, so she didn't have the full smile all the way across. Remember how now, if you look at the corners of her mouth before, this is when she had the cheap teeth. Before, when she had them done a while ago, she couldn't afford the entire set of teeth. Now she's filled them out. So in the sides, you don't see it anymore because they're filled. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. And she's awfully white, wrinkle-free, clearly heavily photoshopped. So basically, within 2 days, Meghan Markle goes from being dark looking, because this woman is orange at the moment, wrinkled, different teeth, to being white woman. I mean, 50 Shades of Grey? This is 50 Shades of Meghan. It's incredibly insane. So, oh yeah, we're celebrating. We know that Meghan she's desperately trying to remain 20-something. She's a 42-year-old woman. Get on with it. And by the way, she just posted that because the the Princess of Wales went to this rave where she left a 700-pound tip. That's almost $1,000, guys. Looking fab. I love her tennis, her runners, and she's wearing, she just looks fabulous. And what must have really bitten Meghan Markle's ass is the fact that she went with Rose. The one that she spread that false rumor about having an affair with Prince William. What a skank. And just because he's so yummy, I love this shot of Prince William walking away from the helicopter. Literally, guy, this man is a GQ model. Look at the way he walks. Look at the way he wears the suit. The suit doesn't wear him. Anyways, leave me your comments about those two vultures.